Hallelujah. Let us close our eyes and talk silently to God. But this morning, Father, speak to me, teach me. Let me not come in vain. Let us meditate on let us begin to meditate and talk to God. That God, speak to me this morning. Make me a vessel of honor. This morning I have come to meet you. Let me not do it in vain. Bless me with the power of the Holy Ghost afresh. This morning, let me possess my possession. As I have come this morning, Lord, minister to me directly. You're going to favor your children this morning. Let me be the first. When you are going around blessing your children this morning, let me be the first. Thank you, Father. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Jehovah,
Holy,
Jesus Christ,
holy,
Holy Michael,
holy.
we commit this morning's service unto your holy hands,
Yes, Lord.
especially the Sunday school.
Yes.
Father, bless us.
Amen.
Speak to us.
Amen.
Teach us.
Amen.
Minister to us.
Amen.
Favor us.
Amen.
Have mercy upon us.
Amen.
Let us not come in vain.
Amen.
Daddy, you are the Lord who has promised us abundance of your blessings this year. When you're going around blessing your children, let us be the first.
Amen.
In the mighty name of Jesus.
Amen.
Thank you, everlasting Father.
Thank you, Lord.
In Jesus' most powerful name we are praying.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Last week we started a series on the topic faith, and we talked about Job as a case study. We're still going to talk about other champions of faith, but Job was our preference last week. And we started by looking at what happened to Job, how God was boastful about him, and how God was, gave him over to Satan for a trial. So Job went to a series of tests in the hands of the adversary called Satan. So that was where we stopped last week. We talked about the afflictions that was orchestrated against Job, and we talked about how in quick succession the afflictions were coming, and that was where we stopped. Job was tested, in other words. So we're going to start from there this morning. We will look at Job chapter 2, and then I will read because of our time from verse 1. It says, on another day, the angels came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came with them to present himself before him. And the Lord said to Satan, where have you come from? We could remember that last week, Job went through the first test, where everything that has to do with camels, everything that has to do with his workers were being afflicted. So all these needs were coming to Job. That was the first part of the test. And the Bible made us to understand that at that, Job got up and tore his robe. After the first test, Job got up and tore his robe and fell flat before God. And he said, naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I shall depart. And in all that, Job did not sin against God. That was the summary of it all. In Job chapter 1, verse 22, it says, in all this, Job did not sin by charging God with wrongdoing. He took it all, he absorbed it. And that in context was what was a challenge once more to the enemy. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
The enemy will want to do what? Will want to frustrate you, intimidate you, so that you can do what? You can talk wrongly to your God. And then the devil will now say, did I not tell you? Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
We will not fall in the day of test.
Amen.
He said, now we will take the Job's second test. He said, then the Lord said to Satan, have you considered my servant Job again? Can you imagine? After going through all that. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
So Job went through another series of tests. Another series of tests. So then the Lord said to Satan, have you considered my servant Job? There is no one on earth like him. He is blameless and upright, a man who fears God and shuns evil. And he still maintains his integrity, though you incited me against him to ruin him without any reason. You can discover that when trials come, when temptations come, when tests come, when you look at your life, you will begin to wonder, what have I done wrong? That is what God is saying here. He says, even though you incited me against Job, Job was what? Job was righteous, but you incited me against him. Okay, let us move into another test. Without no reason. So Satan said, skin for skin. Satan replied, a man will give all he has for his own life. But stretch out your hand and strike his flesh and bones, and it will surely curse you to your face. Okay, he has survived the first test because they are what? They are material things. They are what? They are material things. Those are his belongings. Those are his possessions. But now let's take his skin for skin. Let us afflict his body, and let's see whether he will still do what? He will still sustain the what? The belief, the trust, the faith in you. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Then the Lord said to Satan, very well then, he is in your hands, but you must spare his life. I am not giving you his life. So Satan went out from the presence of the Lord and afflicted Job with painful sores from the soles of his feet to the top of his head. Then Job took a piece of broken pottery and scraped himself with it as he sat among the ashes. Job was mournful. Job was like, this was too much for me. His wife said to me, are you still holding on to your integrity? Curse God and die. Curse God and die. We will still come there. 10. He replied, you are talking like a foolish woman. Shall we accept good from God and not trouble? In all this, Job did not sin in what he said. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Job did not sin in what he said. So we are still going to come back here. So now let us talk about faith generally, because last week we did not discuss the meaning of faith. We all know what the meaning of faith is. We know what it is. When we look at Hebrews chapter 9, we will see what faith is all about. But before we go into the book of faith, I want to just give us a heads up. Heads up. As believers, we are going to do what? We are going to go through what Job went through. So we need to know that we cannot escape being tested by Satan. We cannot escape it. We are going to be tested by Satan, especially in the area of our faith. The devil may not test his followers. Why? The devil may not test his followers because he knows they are already in his net. He knows that they are what? They are his followers. They are already in his net. The crisis or the target is what? Is us, the Christian. Those of us that are what? That are on the other side, that are called Christian. So, because those ones are what? They are already in the net of Satan. So, Satan will fight tooth and nail to ensure that he causes believers to derail. He will fight tooth and nail that we what? We derail. So, hence the trial of believers' faith. That is why we are going through the test of faith. And that was why Job went through the test of faith. Because it was what? It was being brandished or being displayed as what? As a righteous man. A man that fears God. So if you are righteous, you are what? You are open to what? To temptations. You are open to temptation. So we got to be what? We have to be prepared about it. We have to prepare for it because it's going to come. So after the 40 days of what? Our Lord Jesus Christ, he was tested. Because before the Lord started his ministry, he fasted. Or let's take it this way. Our Lord Jesus Christ was baptized by John the Baptist. After the baptism, he went into what? Fasting and prayer because he wanted to start his ministry. Baptism was what? Was the genesis of his ministry. Because that was what has to be done before he's being launched into what? Into the work of ministerial. So after baptism, he went into fasting, 40 days fasting, and what happened? He was doing what? He was being tested. So we should do what? We should expect it. And we will see the reason why we are going to be tested. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
So Jesus, who is our role model, he did what? He prevailed. And Jesus was what? Was being designed to go through the process because it will be like a role model to us as Christians. Jesus will serve as a role model to us as Christians because he passed through it. He went through it. And when we are going to lay claim or when we are going to do a preference, we will discover that what we are doing today is not alien, is not strange to what Jesus passed through. And so he went through the process. And that was why he was what? He was being baptized. And that is the process where or how children of God should do what? Should go through. So we are being baptized. We are being, because when you are being baptized into what? Into Christianity or the process or the journey, you are what? You have your name in the book of life. So he was equally tested and he prevailed over Satan. We can see that in Matthew chapter 4, verse 1 to 11. We will not go there. So without examination, students cannot go what? They cannot move forward. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
You cannot experience promotion. You can remember when you are in the kindergarten, you move on to the next level, you move on, you were writing examination. And that is how it is spiritually. So without battle, there cannot be victory. If there is no war, there is no peace. So as we go through our journey of faith, may God give us victory over Satan.
Amen.
In the mighty name of Jesus. So we will now go into the meaning of faith. Let us go to our Bible, Hebrews chapter 9, verse 1.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Before we go to the faith, before we go out of Job testing and what Job passed through,
Yes.
I have like 3 questions here that I want to ask about Job.
Okay.
About what Job went through when one is the first question is, who is testing Job? Is it God or Satan? Satan was just going on his own before God called him.
No. Okay, let's go there. All right.
Then
Okay.
that's the first question. The second question is, what the wife said, was it wrong?
Okay.
Was it a sin?
Okay.
The wife, when the wife saw that this man is passing through a lot of pain, she was forced to say, I can just curse God and die and rest instead of all this pain.
Okay.
So what the wife said, was it wrong? Was it a sin? Then the third question is, was Job compensated for all his trials?
So the first question, let's take it number 1.
Okay, the first question I said, who was testing Job?
Yes.
Was it God?
Yes.
Or Satan?
Yes. Can somebody give us the answer? Is there anybody who wants to give us that answer? Who is testing Job? That's a very critical question. Very critical question. Who was testing Job? Was it Satan or was it God?
It's Satan because it's Satan that went to ask for permission from God that can he test his servant because he gave him everything. But God knows his faith, the level of Job's faith. Before he said, yes, you can go and test him, but do not take his life.
But
Yes.
Satan was going on his own.
Let's go to Job. Let's go to Job chapter 1 verse 6. It says the angels present themselves before the Lord.
Yes.
And Satan also came with them.
Yes.
Do we understand that? He presented because Satan also was an angel of God.
Yes.
You understand? But it was what? It was on the other side because it was not part of the plan of God.
And
it
then
was cast out of heaven. So here we can say that 2 of them are testing Job. The 2 of them are testing Job. but for a cause. One, Satan was testing Job in order to do what? In order to make him to derail. God was testing Job in order to see whether he is on his path. Hallelujah. And that is the battle that we are fighting up to this day. And that is the battle we continue to fight. Satan, when you look at our heart, when I went to baptismal class, I was so afraid. I was like, what am I taking? What is this faith? It's, as we are being given salvation. It is very, very delicate. They give us a picture of our heart, how the enemies are struggling to take our heart on a daily basis. Once you have your name written in the book of life, you are being what? You have signed that you are going to war. But the grace that we have is what? We have the power of the Holy Spirit. So they give us that our heart is what? It is the playground. Our heart is the playground where everything happens. When you want to derail, when you want to backslide, it starts from the heart. They give us everything A, B, C, level by level to what makes people to do what? To derail, to backslide. So here, because of our time, summarily we can say that those two of them were doing what? They were testing Job. Because they wanted to be, the other one, who is Satan, wanted Job to derail, want him to perish, want him to be destroyed, because it's what? Because Satan has been designed for destruction. So Satan is looking for people who will do what? Who will go with him. He is not happy when he sees children of God prospering. Hallelujah. So he wanted to test it. So it was like, God. He presented himself. God, can you see? Let's go there again. He said, there's the Lord said to Satan, have you considered my servant Job? Hallelujah. That's why I said, it is the two of them. That is where the question comes in. It's very critical. Who is testing Job? Satan is testing Job. God is testing Job. So God was like, okay, let's see. But I am not giving his life. Because I have his life. I am not giving his life. But let's put him to test. Satan was challenging God. Is it not because you are prospering? Is it not because you have a protection on him? That is why he's still in the level of faith with you. So the two of them are what? They are testing God. We are going to go through the same test. Hallelujah. We may have passed through it. We may be going through it. Or we are still what? We are still planning. Or God is still planning to make us to go through it. Hallelujah. So the two of them are what? They are testing Job. You want to say something more?
Yes, sir. But the chapter 1 Job, and then chapter 2, he said
Yes.
again, there was a day when the Son of God came to present themselves before the Lord.
Yes.
And Satan came also among them
Yes.
to present himself before the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord know whom he is.
Mm-hmm.
Then he said, from whence comest thou?
Mm-hmm.
And Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the heart, and from walking up and down in it. And the Lord said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job? So
in other words, we are what? We are children that are going to be tested. Let us prepare ourselves for it. And why did God test Job? It was for a reason. Why are we going to go through tests? It is for a reason. And we will see the reasons here. We're still going to go there. The second question, sir.
The question is, was the wife wrong?
Yes, the wife was wrong.
And was this
it was a sin to God, because it was a God orchestrated. We are still going to go there. This lesson is packed. If we have time to go through it, these are the 8 questions that we are going to. Even if you don't ask these questions, you will see the answers here. They are there. So the wife was wrong. We will see when we get there. We're still going to go there.
But the level of faith of the wife is so small.
Yes.
Compared to Job.
Hallelujah. For us to discover that the wife was wrong, you will see what God. When we progress in this lesson, you will see what God said to Job concerning his friends. That didn't even talk against God. Hallelujah. those friends came to sympathize with him. They did not offend God. They were talking against Job. They were saying that Job must have done something wrong for God to afflict him this way. So you will see that God was so mad at them. We will get to that place. God was so angry that he said, okay, you will need to do some sacrifice and ask Job to pray for you. We'll go there. For me not to do what? Not to be angry against you because you have sinned against me. So for those ones that have not even said any derogatory, any words that are what? That are not in conformity with God, against God, then let us talk about Job. See, murmuring against God is what is sin. When you look at the children of Israel when they were being taken out of Egypt, they were murmuring. Was it not sin? Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
What did God do to them? He said, all of you will waste away in this desert. We will go see. We are still going to go there. Murmuring in the time of affliction is what the devil is waiting. Yes, that's it. See, if Job had said, God, why me? That is sin. The devil will tell God, see what he's doing. See, he's not righteous. And that invites more affliction, more test. He's righteous. Now, I know he's righteous. He will not say that. Okay, let us test him again. Let's do another thing. So that is why in some areas our blessings are being delayed. Murmuring against God is what is sin. So if somebody is saying curse your God in this time of affliction, when it's a God orchestrated test, it is sin. He said curse God and die. That is what is sin. Yeah. See what Job said. He said, shall we always be taking good from God and not evil? Job is righteous before God. Job is a complete righteous person. Even in these circumstances. And that is why when we are going through affliction, or when somebody is going through problems, when we go to sympathize with them, it is better we just go there and not say a word. Yes, as Christians. When we see people that are suffering, or maybe somebody that have just lost a husband, that have lost a wife, that have lost a child, or somebody that is, things that are strange are happening to, and we go there as children, as Christians, to sympathize with them, let us do what? Let us close our mouth. Because when we're talking, when we're sympathizing, we may affectionately or emotionally say some things that are what?
Hallelujah.
Some people will come to mourn with you, and what they are saying will be continue to trigger all their emotions in you, and you still continue to begin to trigger those emotions. Because your mind is what? Like a playground. Whatever that is sown in you will begin to grow. So what you say in the times of affliction to somebody, or times of pain to somebody, the devil will go to nurture it. So see what Job's friends did. They were saying Job was being afflicted. If you look at their epilogue, their discussion, if everything that they were saying, one after the other, the three of them, they were saying that Job must have done something wrong. And Job was telling them, no, I have not. I have not. So at the end of the day, when they came to sympathize with Job, but they are doing what? They are piling up what? Pains. They are piling up pains. They are multiplying his pains. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
So the answer to that, with the third question, we will still go there. Whether God compensated Job.
So
we'll go there.
The wife asked, she sinned.
She sinned. Yes. It was a sin to God. Are you still holding on to your integrity? Curse God and die. It was a sin. Let us close our mouth. It's a big lesson to us. When we're going through affliction, or somebody is going through affliction, or somebody is going, let us go there and sympathize. And above all, when you are living, pray for the person. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Pray for the person. The Bible did not elongate on that because it is what? It is not, it is, when you look at it, you discover that it is not in plan. It is not in conformity with what God has planned for Job. Hallelujah. So let us go to faith. Faith. Hebrews chapter 9. If you are there, read for us.
Then verily the first covenant has also
No, the definition of faith. Hebrews chapter 9, verse 1.
verse 1.
Yes, exactly. The definition of faith.
In the past, God spoke to our forefathers.
Sorry.
Chapter 9.
11, I'm sorry. 11. Hebrew 11.
Now faith is the substance of things hoped for,
Yes.
the evidence of things not seen.
Evidence of seeing things not seen. That is the Bible definition of faith. But in other words, I want to give us a layman definition of faith. Igbagbo. Faith is what? Is hearing what God says